Avoid mirroring the destiny of Lot's spouse, who, due to a lack of understanding that her surroundings were a reflection of her inner state, continually looked back and became trapped by the illusion of her situation once again. Remember the teachings of Jesus, who urged us to abandon all and follow me, referencing Matthew 4 verse 19, Matthew 8 verse 22, Matthew 16 verse 24, Matthew 19 verse 21, Mark 1 verse 17, Mark 8 verse 34, Matthew 8 verse 22, and Luke 9 verse 60. One might become entangled in the deceptive appearances of reality and the superficial aspects of one's difficulties, making it difficult to adopt a new mindset or the consciousness of one's Redeemer. However, adopting this new state of mind is essential for the realization of one's aspirations. The stone, that state of consciousness which was overlooked or rejected by the builders, becomes the essential cornerstone that cannot be replaced by any other. Therefore, pay attention to what you listen to, for to those who possess, more will be given, but from those who do not, even what little they have will be taken away. Luke 8 verse 18. The Bible, a profound book of psychology, warns us of the importance of being mindful of what we pay attention to. This warning, that abundance is attracted to those who are receptive, while scarcity befalls those who are not, may seem to some as one of the most severe and unfair statements made by Jesus, yet it is a fair rule based on the immutable law of life, demonstrating its operation. Lack of knowledge about the workings of the law does not exempt one from its consequences, thus, it acts impartially and without prejudice, as stated in Acts 10 verse 34 and Romans 2 verse 11. Individuals are advised to be discerning in what they listen to and accept as truth. Every truth that is embraced becomes imprinted on one's consciousness and will inevitably manifest in one's physical world. Selective hearing is the best approach by which an individual filters through incoming information. One must develop the ability to listen only to what aligns with one's desires, ignoring rumors or sensory evidence to the contrary. By sharpening one's selective hearing, one becomes attuned only to impressions that are desirable. Complete conditioning makes one immune to anything that undermines one's success. God, as I have repeatedly stated in numerous lectures and writings, represents that unconditional awareness that grants you everything you consciously recognize as your identity or possession. To be aware of one's identity or possession is to embody it. This principle is based on an unchangeable law. It is impossible to embody anything that contradicts one's self-awareness. Thus, to the person who possesses, to the one aware of their identity, that shall be given, whether for better or worse, one receives according to their self-perception. Now, one can understand that biblical passage and recognize its inherent fairness. To the one who lacks, even the little they have will be taken away, and it is through this principle that the wealthy accumulate more wealth while the poor sink deeper into poverty. One can only increase what they are conscious of possessing. Everything gravitates towards the consciousness with which it resonates. Likewise, things move away from the consciousness with which they do not resonate. If the world's wealth were redistributed equally among all people, we would soon see the re-emergence of the rich and poor as before. Wealth would find its way back to those who see themselves as prosperous and criticize the rich for hoarding wealth. Embrace this immutable law of expression. Consciously define yourself as the person you wish to become. Once this identity is affirmed, hold steadfastly to that belief until you achieve your desired outcome, and with the certainty that day follows night, any quality professed consciously will come into being. Thus, what may appear to the conventional world, still asleep, as a harsh and unjust rule, reveals itself as one of the most accurate and fair affirmations of truth for those who are enlightened, for it seeks not to abolish the law but to fulfill it. Matthew 5 verse 17. Indeed, nothing is destroyed. What seems like destruction merely indicates a shift in consciousness. Consciousness always actualizes or materializes the state in which it resides. To those unfamiliar with this law, the state from which consciousness has moved on appears to be destroyed, but it simply signifies the beginning of a new state of consciousness. To the one already in possession, to this person, more will be given. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and he shall be named Emmanuel, which translated means, God with us, as told in Matthew 1 verse 23. One of the most debated topics within the New Testament is the virgin conception and the birth of Jesus, a beginning without male intervention. The scriptures tell of a virgin who conceived a son without a man's involvement and then, effortlessly, without struggle, gave birth to the son she had promised. This story is the foundation upon which the whole of Christianity is built. From a scientific perspective, one could argue that the Bible, from beginning to end, is a grand illusion, as it challenges logical acceptance that a virgin could give birth to a son. However, the Bible is a message of the soul and must be interpreted psychologically to uncover its true symbolism. The narrative must be understood as a psychological drama, not a literal recounting of historical events. It is crucial to recognize that consciousness is the essence of reality. Just as the Virgin Mary, through her Immaculate Conception, symbolizes the purity of faith and the ability to create miracles beyond human logic, every individual has the potential to conceive within themselves realities that defy the limits of the material world. The story of the Virgin Conception invites us to consider the inherent ability of human beings to surpass logical barriers and bring to light manifestations born of unwavering faith. In this context, faith goes beyond simple belief without evidence. It represents absolute certainty that what is envisioned mentally and fostered emotionally will manifest in the physical world. In adhering to this principle, mental and emotional discipline becomes critically important. Just as we are advised to be careful about what we listen to, we must also guard the thoughts we allow in our minds and the emotions we choose to cultivate in our hearts. The law of attraction, a universally recognized principle, suggests that we attract what we focus our attention and energy on. Therefore, if we focus our thoughts on abundance, health, and love, these qualities will naturally come to us. Additionally, the process of manifestation requires patience and persistence. Confidence in the desired outcome must remain, even when external circumstances seem to contradict our goals. This represents the ultimate test of faith, to keep believing despite seeming impossibilities, as demonstrated by Abraham, the father of faith, who trusted in God's promise despite overwhelming odds. Exploring the profound impact of consciousness on shaping our existence is essential. The story of Lot's wife, transformed into a pillar of salt for her backward gaze, symbolizes the dangers of being anchored in past experiences or adversities. Similarly, we risk being trapped by the illusions of our previous states if we don't advance confidently into our new consciousness. The invitation by Jesus to leave everything and follow me acts as a significant metaphor for shedding our former selves, our restrictive beliefs and the illusions of past difficulties, to adopt a higher state of consciousness. This transition demands that we leave behind the comfort of our old identities to step into the unknown, relying on the promise of a better existence that lies ahead. In this surrender and faith, the disregarded stone, our uplifted consciousness, becomes the foundation of a new reality, crafted from our deepest wishes and loftiest goals. The Bible highlights the necessity of careful consideration regarding what we permit into our consciousness. It articulates that to those who have, more will be given, and from those who do not have, even what they possess will be taken away. Luke 8 verse 18. This axiom illustrates the unbiased operation of the consciousness law, rewarding those who persist in a mindset of positivity and abundance, while those immersed in skepticism and negativity experience further loss. Therefore, the practice of selective focus is crucial in our transformative journey. By intentionally directing our attention to align with our desired outcomes, we train ourselves to be resistant to negativity and disbelief. This disciplined management of our thoughts and perceptions guarantees that we attract only those situations that harmonize with our goals. The divine principle of assumption teaches us that our reality mirrors our beliefs about ourselves. God, the supreme intelligence within us, actualizes our self-concept in our physical existence. Thus, it's vital to nurture a consciousness of prosperity, health, love, and achievement, as these become the cornerstones of our lives. The narrative of Jesus' virgin birth reminds us of faith's miraculous power and consciousness's capacity to surpass physical limitations. This story encourages us to accept that through steadfast belief and pure intention, we can manifest miracles. Faith, therefore, is an active force requiring our engagement. We must vigilantly align our thoughts and emotions with the reality we aim to manifest. Following the law of attraction's guidance, that similar energies attract, We should focus our energies on positivity, abundance, and divinity to draw these qualities into our existence. In this endeavor, patience and perseverance are our companions. Despite obstacles, our unwavering faith in our desires' realization will lead to their actualization. This embodies true faith, belief in the unseen, and trust in the universe's divine timing. As we foster a rich consciousness, similar to the fertile soil in the sower's parable, our dreams and ambitions receive the nourishment needed to thrive. This inner evolution is not solely about material gain, it's about realizing our divine potential and co-creating with the universe. By adopting these principles, we recognize the Bible not merely as a religious scripture but as a guide for achieving a purposeful, abundant, and fulfilling life. Applying these consciousness laws unlocks our ability to manifest our deepest desires and align with the divine plan. Through disciplined belief and steadfast faith, we uncover our true nature as divine beings empowered to shape our reality. Like the sower's parable, where the seed meets different soils, our dreams require a nurturing environment to flourish. This environment is our consciousness, enriched by positive thinking and emotions, a deep acknowledgement of our innate abilities, and unwavering faith in the universe's generosity and provision. Embracing these practices reveals that the Bible is founded on a principle that, when applied personally, leads to the physical realization of our most valued dreams. To activate this law of higher expression, one must stay committed to the belief that all things are possible through God, as reflected in Matthew 19 verse 26, Mark 9 verse 23, Mark 10 verse 27, Mark 14 verse 36, Luke 18 verse 27, and Acts. We can only magnify what we are conscious of possessing.